3, 2, 1, and we're live. I am your humblest of hosts, Ray Moreno.
My name's Ephraim.
And I'm Sunny.
And this is another episode of Undecided.
Undecided.
All right, and today we're talking about the biggest, well, it's not a big elephant, I guess you could say. It's, Tekashi got out.
Treyway.
Treyway. He got out. When did he get out? Friday, right?
No, he got out.
It was sometime last week. You know, he dropped a song.
No, he got out like weeks
before.
before.
We're already starting way too far into the story. Let's take it back a bit.
Okay.
Let's take it back a bit. When did he get out?
He got out, I would say, like mid to late March.
But then again, you can't say he's really out. He's on, like I
He's
said,
not
house
in prison.
arrest.
He's not in prison.
Yeah, he's still serving his sentence, but at home. All right.
Yeah.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah, easily.
Is he lucky though?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, he's lucky.
Hold up.
What do you mean, hold up?
Hell yeah.
Is he lucky though? He can't go anywhere. He can't go anywhere alone. He can't leave his house. If anybody finds out where he is, he's dead. If anything gets leaked from him, there's nothing. Like what's so lucky about that? You're pretty much in prison already.
That's the thing though. Like if you're out of jail, I mean prison is pretty shitty. Anybody would like to get out, and especially like the lifestyle that he's living right now. He dropped a fucking music video while he's in jail. You know.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. If there's one thing that I learned from watching Sopranos.
Hey,
every single video.
But this is the theme though. You can ask anybody who's going to be doing an extensive period of time in prison. They would easily take house arrest over being in prison. Yeah, you can't leave your house and all that shit, but like you can still have visitors. You can still have females come over. You can still see friends and family. You can still eat the food that you want to eat. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You can still go outside when you still have control of your life.
You
just
music
can't.
Videos. Have big fucking bitches over dressed up as crayons.
Yeah, in this case, he's extremely lucky, obviously, given his position.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, I know for a fact any of us, if we were in his position, we easily would have taken the house arrest over than staying in jail.
Oh,
in jail,
sure.
you're in a fucking prison with, you have cellmates. You don't choose what you eat. Like, you don't control anything while you're in prison at all. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like...
You have eyes around you at like 24/7. I mean, I'm pretty sure when you're at home, I'm pretty sure they have cameras all over the house too. But
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's subject to every case, but I think without a doubt, he's extremely lucky.
Oh yeah,
extremely lucky. Like house arrest is nothing compared to being actual. I mean, I've never been to prison, but I'm just saying, I'm sure it's nothing compared to being in actual prison.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean. Yeah, obviously everybody would choose house arrest, but either way, like whether he's in prison or he's out of prison, like he still has a hit on his head.
Yeah,
like that's something everybody knows. Like everybody sees him as a rat. Now, let's fast forward a little bit after he got released. His live stream, all the stuff he was talking on there.
Yeah,
2 million people tuned in.
Yeah, 2 million.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say like people see him as a rat. I mean, people do see him as a rat, but I feel like people see him like not as much as a rat because I feel like people are understanding him his argument a little bit more.
Let's talk about that
back then. You know?
Yeah. No, let's talk about that. Let's talk about like the whole snitching rat situation.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's not unusual and it's like pretty fair to say, especially in the rap community. Yeah. Which is a predominantly black community, but I would also say just minorities and this like lower class and just in general, like the number one thing like you learn is like don't snitch.
Always.
Yeah.
Even when you're a little kid, you know that like don't snitch.
Yeah, even our last episode, we were even talking about like with our parents hitting us and shit. Like I remember my mom told me like don't tell people that hit you.
Oh yeah,
don't snitch.
Don't snitch. You know, so it's like I think right now is a really interesting time about the conversation because. I understand it completely. Like, don't snitch, especially if you put yourself in a position where you know you would have that. You know, he put himself in that position. A lot of people don't put themselves in that position; they're already in that position, right? He chose to be in that lifestyle. He chose that lifestyle.
True.
Yeah,
but also at the same time, you also have to like weigh out like the pros and cons of his situation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And also a lot of situations in general. I feel like, I mean, like let's look at two different artists, right? Like you have someone like Tekashi who snitched, and then you have someone like Tekashi who didn't, or you have someone like Bobby Shmurda who did it, right?
Yep.
Like Shmurda spent 7 years. I think he originally was for 5, but he did 3 more because he wouldn't snitch on his homies.
I think they found more charges on him. That's why they extended his or something like that.
Yeah, but I do know for a fact though, because he wouldn't snitch on, like he wouldn't speak about Rowdy. He did another 3 years. And also, I mean, with TK is doing 55 years. Yeah. TK is only now probably like what 18, 19.
No, TK? He's 23.
TK's not 23.
He's 23.
No, he's not. He's younger than me.
Sorry. For some reason,
it's not.
When you said TK, I thought you. Never mind. Yeah, I thought it was Tekashi. TK.
Tekashi's 24. No, but TK. I think it's just kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like when I hear his argument, right?
Yeah.
To me personally, like it makes sense. Like,
whose argument?
Tekashi's.
Tekashi's.
Like it makes sense.
Oh
like,
yeah, it does.
They were sleeping with your baby mama.
Yep.
They were stealing millions of dollars from you.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to kidnap your mother.
They jumped him.
They jumped him. They jumped him. They beat him up. There's footage of that.
They kidnapped him.
They kidnapped him. They beat him up. And there's literally recordings, of them talking about killing him.
Yeah.
Like what? Like
what is there like to protect there? Nothing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like if I was in that situation, for me, like, and we've all like grown up together, like. For me, my friends that I consider like really tight niche group of friends, we've all been friends since 13, 14, and we all still talk. We all still really close.
Yeah.
For TK's situation, he was like introduced to the blood gangs like 3-4 years ago. He wasn't even like grew up with them, didn't know any of them, didn't really affiliate with them growing up. So obviously he did it just to like make his career ricochet up. You know,
it was definitely a symbol.
It was definitely just like a money move. Obviously, the money move now flipped on him because they wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if everybody's like calling him a rat, I mean, fuck it. Like, I wouldn't fucking protect those people.
Exactly.
If I met you like 2-3 years ago and you're doing shit to me like that, fuck you.
Exactly.
Fuck you. Yeah. I'm not protecting you for shit.
Yeah, fuck that.
And I think like when he signed, like went into the scene of the like gangster rap and shit. And I wouldn't even call it gangster rap, just in like the gang, that hood mentality, whatever he wanted to portray. He didn't really initially do it to be hood, He got that for the vision, so he can portray himself as gangster, so more people can view his content. So I mean, it doesn't like benefit him if to stay, because I mean, when he did stay, he got whatever he needed, and then now he has his clout, he really doesn't need them anymore,
Nope.
Yeah. And it's also the relationship that they have too. It's like he was milking off of them, and they were milking off of him. It was like
it was a toxic relationship.
Yeah, it was like is it called asymbiotic?
Asymbolic,
something like. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? When like the birds like sit on the rhinos and they eat like the ticks off the rhinos and shit. You know what I'm saying?
But like, you can't say that because that's when they benefit each other. But again, like,
that's what I'm saying. They did benefit each other. He was the money. He was the cash cow for them.
Cow, and
they were the image for him.
Oh yeah.
In order for him to get all the money. He knows that the best way for him to make and sell content is if he portrays himself as like a blood member and, he's a gangster and all that shit. And they provide that for him, with the music videos and the looks and but also at the same time, he's the one that's making all the records. He's the one that's getting all the beefs and everything. With that comes money, and he supplies them with money, drugs, all that other shit. So they definitely benefited off each other. He's definitely not innocent in the situation. I'm not going to say that at all.
Not.
He's definitely not. Like the people that went to jail, like Shoddy and all them.
Like was a Treyway 9 something 9,
like the 9 Trey Bloods.
9 Trey Bloods.
Like those guys have families.
Yeah.
Like they have families. Some of them have kids. Like they have like a life outside of their
gang banging.
Like they have a life. Know, and like they're gonna be in prison. Like one of them got 50 years, I think.
Yeah.
Like they're not. Their life is pretty much over.
And I'm pretty sure like their kids are gonna hate Tekashi forever.
Yeah.
And then Tekashi's kids are gonna always have beef with them, just because of this whole ordeal that happened.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, at the end of the day, like Tekashi was really smart the way he did about it, but at the same time he was very dumb about it. Cause like Sonny was saying, like it's appealing, especially to like middle America, for like kids that live in middle America or like suburban America. They love seeing like that grimy hardcore shit. If you think about it, like look here in Utah, like all the kids that live in the suburbs want to act black, want to talk black, want to get all the drip and like talk like that because it's appealing to them. And Tekashi 6ix9ine, he knew how to cheat the system to get that out and grow his brand. But at the same time, he got himself involved with a gang when at the end of the day, we all know what happens when you join a gang. You go out one or two ways. You end up in jail, you end up dead.
Like and like he also in his live stream even said it wasn't worth it. And I really thought about it. And like it's so like obliviously true. Like like here you are, you're like a massive A-list celebrity. You have like all the money and fame in the world. You know, you have like literally you can get and go everywhere you want. You know, and it's because of you. I mean, obviously they gave you the image, but like they could give anybody the image, but they wouldn't produce the same amount of money and wealth and fame that he did because he is a really smart guy.
He's smart, very creative.
So it's like you have to think. I mean, it would make sense for him to snitch. You know what I mean? Like he has a lot more to lose than someone like Shotty does.
Oh,
you get what I mean? So it's like I don't really understand like so much of the backlash, or at least it's not even a surprise, but just people just so against it because it's like, well, no wonder like he was gonna snitch. Like the second he got arrested, I knew he was gonna snitch. Yeah, because he has so much more to lose than the other people that went into jail with him.
Oh, facts. You know what I mean? And the thing with this is like, there's so many people on both sides. There's people that are like, no, the street code. It's like, cool. I get there's a street code. You have to follow it. But at the end of the day, and I know like some of our friends are gonna be like, "No, you can't fuck snitching." Like I don't care. Like nah, bro. Like let's think about it logistically.
Yeah.
Like the man's had like so many more. Like it's like you said, he has a lot more to lose. They were gonna kill him. They kidnapped him. They beat him up. They were fucking his baby mama. Like what more do you need to know that these guys don't fuck with you, bro? Like what more do you need?
And I think that's kind of the core like. You know, like the dilemma of the whole situation is because the whole point of like the no snitching thing is like you're so close and you're so tight with the people around you that you're doing these things with that you don't want to see them go to prison. You don't want to see them hurt because you know they'll do the same thing for you. Yep. But they weren't doing the same thing for you.
It wasn't reciprocated.
Like, they weren't doing the same thing for
you. I think like to be in a gang, it's more like in the olden days, it's more like a brotherhood. You know, always to fight the power. And things like that. But the way things are like right now, gangs are like, I feel like not as brotherly as they were back in the days. It's more like just about money and drugs and just women and shit. But the way he played it out, I mean, in his situation, especially how everything turned out, everybody thought he was going to flop when he came back. Yeah. Everybody thought he was going to flop. Everybody's saying he's a snitch and shit. But the numbers don't lie. Yeah, the fucking numbers don't lie. Instagram, 2 million when a song popped off.
Broke the YouTube record.
Broke the fucking YouTube record,
that's
bro.
That's insane.
And he was not trending. A whole fucking 24 hours fucking trending.
But didn't he also break the Instagram like live stream?
He destroyed that. Tory Lanez had it at like 600,000. 2 million, bro. That's like
shattered it. I remember this. I was at work when he went on live, and I've been waiting for it.
Oh yeah, because you told us, bro. I was watching it at work too.
I followed him when he got out. I followed him specifically for his first live because I knew it was coming. Yeah. And I remember I logged in, and when I got there, it was already at like 800,000. So he already shattered it by the time I got there. Yeah. And then within like seconds, it was like 800,000, 1.3, 1.5, 1.6. Within like probably what I'd say like 5 minutes, it was 2 million. I thought I was gonna get to 2.5.
When I got on, it was at 1.6.
It would have been that. When I got on, it was like 1.2. Yeah. Then I just went. I ended it when I saw it was at 1.9, but I saw your screenshot. I was at 2 million.
2 million.
That's freaking crazy.
Everybody was in that live, bro.
It was so crazy.
And you did
all check marks,
all verified,
all celebrities, all of them just nosy as fuck.
Because I know Tory Lanez shouted him out. I think Drake shouted him out. Yeah, that's freaking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I trust me. Like I understand, and also like I used to get in trouble a lot when I was a kid, especially with like, the cops and stuff, and like. I mean, not to the degree like that. I'm not even in the front like that. But it's like I understand. Like, just don't say anything. As long as no one says anything, then they can't do anything. Yeah. Right? I understand that. But I mean, you also have to look at it for just like what it is. Like if my homies were doing some shit and I was a part of it, like I wouldn't say anything because I care about them and I know they wouldn't do anything for me. Or sorry, I know they would do the same for me. And I've been in situations like that. But. Like I understand where Tekashi's coming from, and I know it's not a popular opinion because, like he's right. They did like the whole reason that he went into jail in the first place is because he dropped that video that was saying that like, hey, I dropped all my managers unless you're talking to me directly, then it's a scam. He dropped everybody, and because of that video, that's when they started talking about killing him. Right. And then because the lines were tapped, that's when the FBI got involved and they arrested him, and it literally saved his life. Yeah. So, like, you have to. I know it's not a popular opinion, but you have to be practical about it. And I think the dilemma of it is, which I was talking about earlier, when I've been thinking about it, is like how much the no snitching rule really applies and helps like the lower income communities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember I was looking at this YouTube comment, and I think it was like on like Adam 22 or something like that. And there was this guy who was saying like he's like fuck the no snitching rule. Like, I have an older brother he's serving life, and he could have gone out in 2 years if he decided to say something, but he didn't. Yeah. And he's like, you know how many of his homies come and visit him? You know how many of his brothers and shit come and visit him? He's like, 0. He's like, never. My brothers never had a visit for any of his homies that he never snitched on or he was trying to protect. He's like, the only people that visit him are me and my mother, because at the end of the day, that's all you have is family.
Yeah.
And he's like, now when I speak to him, he's like, I want to cry because he regrets it so bad. He's like, I'm never gonna see my brother anymore. Like, I know my brother's gonna die in jail because he took the ignorant, path. He didn't think it through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a whole fucked up situation. It is sad. Like, Tekashi's he's not innocent.
It definitely is an unpopular opinion, especially in the minority groups. Because I know I always talk about a lot about white people, but if you think about their communities, they always look out for themselves and like to progress like their family, And sometimes us as minorities, again, like going to our backstories, we don't really have like the best knowledge, especially like living in this country. We don't always have like the best knowledge, the best like information given to us. So when they implement the no snitching rule to our minorities, like we live by that hard. Because I know growing up, like all of us live by the don't snitch.
Yeah.
And none of us ever snitched.
Yeah.
But like the older you grow, like the older you get, the more knowledge you get. You think about it logistically, how you're thinking about it. It's like, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
Is it really worth me giving up my life to never see my family and potentially impact the generations to come?
Yeah. And you gotta see like this too. Like, if you think about it, his situation is definitely a different situation if I were to like snitch. You know? For example, like if I were to snitch and if I was like more of in an area where it's more like gang related and shit, like I had to come back to my house. I cannot move.
Yeah.
And then I will be a way easier target than what he is, because he legitimately just needs to come back and he can move because he has all the money.
Yeah. And security and shit.
And security, because I can't pay for that shit.
Yeah.
I can't pay people more. The normal like person can't just go up and move.
Yeah.
But he can definitely do that.
Exactly.
So that's why it's a different situation from the regular person, the regular Joe, from his situation.
Yeah. And
you're right. You're right.
And I also say on the other side of things, though, like when I listen to like people like Wayno, like on Everyday Struggle, say it, McMill and all of them, like they do have a point. He's like, if he was willing to snitch, then he should have never gotten involved in it in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's what they say. Like they say, like, hey, if you believe that you at that point will say something, then don't get involved. Yeah. Like, it's just best that you don't get involved. And it's okay. We're not going to judge you. We're not going to think anything different of you. Just don't get involved. And they're 100% right. He should have never put on that front. He should have never talked all the shit that he did. He should have never did. He should have never gone as far as he did. But that's kind of like the irony of the whole thing, because it's only because of that he got so far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they're 100% right. Like, niggas are in jail for the rest of their lives because of him, because he decided to seem like a bird. But at the same time, I'm not going to act like naive or stupid to the fact, like, I could see his point of view. Like, looking practically, I can honestly see his point of view and why he did it. It's fucked up, and what did you say? Like, would you guys say that it's wrong that he sung? Like, would you say that?
That he what?
Like, he sung, like he snitched, like he ratted everybody out. Like, would you say it's wrong?
I mean, it's a smart move, I guess you could say, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's right.
Yeah.
For me, it's not right. But it's like you were saying, he has a lot more to lose than everybody else does. Obviously, like the impact of like family, children, and like loved ones. But at the end of the day, if we're looking at money wise, he has a lot more to lose.
Yeah.
Do I think like go snitch? Nah. Like don't. If like you have a really tight niche group of homies and like friends that you grew up with and you're really tight, think about it twice.
Yeah.
Think about it. But if it's a situation like him, I don't know. It's hard to say. But I don't know. For me, like personally, if you're not willing to deal with the consequence when you're getting involved, then just don't get involved.
Don't get involved. Yeah.
Don't get involved at all.
The life isn't for everybody.
No. And it's like he got into like an extreme game of chess, because he has a big target on his head. Depending on where he goes, because I mean, pretty sure like if you move to Utah, If you move to Utah, I'm pretty sure you'd be okay, Tekashi.
Well, the thing is, like, also another thing is like the people that are saying like it's okay.
Telling him to move to Utah.
Well, the thing is like his like target audience are like white suburban kids who also don't understand the code and stuff. And they're also the ones who are giving away his location and shit. And they don't really understand like the repercussions that are like he's under. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand like the starstruck and everything like that, but if you watch every video that has come out so far, which is 2 of him being, you know, of his location being leaked, it's like white suburban kids.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like no, the dude's literally gonna get killed if people come to his house.
They really,
they really are going to fucking kill him.
They're actually gonna go fly out and go. The thing is, it's his fault too, though.
It definitely is. He's not innocent at all.
It's not saying that he's not innocent. It's just the way he goes about it. He's literally going out front of the house, making music videos, taking pictures. That's how he got caught.
Yeah,
and he has like colorful cars in front of his house.
Yeah,
like you can't.
He has to live a complete he definitely has to live a completely different lifestyle. But I think the no snitching rule doesn't really hold as much weight as it did back in the day. Like, and not even just like in gang culture, but even like I'm bringing it back again, but even like Sopranos, because Sopranos takes place. Sopranos is really interesting because it takes place at the end of like of the regime of the mafia, right? Yeah. Like nowadays, like the mafia doesn't really exist, and if it does,
it does. It just doesn't run shit as hard as it used to.
Yeah, I mean, like if someone said they're in the mob, I don't really think. I mean, I would still be like afraid, but I wouldn't be like as afraid if I was like living back in like 1952. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But even in the 90s.
Right, exactly. But like the late 90s, early 2000s, where The Soprano takes place, that's like when the mob, because that's when the RICO charge came in, and that's really what destroyed the mob. But anyways, what they really like emphasize in that show is like at the end of it, they talk about how much people flip, and their lingo is, you know, like they're an informant for the police. You know, and like that's like organized crime. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like gang culture, and there's like gang banging and shit, but there's like organized crime.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like I think organized crime is a whole different level.
And if we're thinking about the mob, we're not just talking about like in the city, the state. We're talking about the country, even other countries. Like that's how big the mob got. Like the mafia got huge as fuck.
And they're dealing with politicians. They're dealing with construction contracts that are worth hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Like the mob at their peak was huge.
Yep.
And they still had people snitch, and people were still falling out, and people were still ratting on each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, the reason why I bring that up is because if you have like a force that's that big and that powerful, and you still have people that are, you know, flipping, like to me, like seeing a situation where there's a kid with colorful hair, you know, who's never been a gang member, and he just magically became a gang member overnight. It's not that surprising, you know. Yeah. I think the only time you don't really see snitching in like crime or organized crime is probably like Narcos and stuff like that. Yeah, because they don't give a fuck.
Oh. they'll die. They'll die before snitching.
Well, it's not even they'll snitch. It's like they don't give a fuck if they killed somebody. Like they don't give a fuck that you know that they killed them. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole different thing. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's out. We'll see how he does. His numbers are crazy. He's been breaking records.
Yeah.
But also depending on snitching, I feel like, and nowadays it depends on who you are. Because even actually back in the day, I feel like people did snitch to benefit on for example, like their standing, like in the 50 Cent movie. I hate to compare it to the movie, but like the 50 Cent movie. Do you know how the main guy, 50 Cent's enemy, snitched on the older dude to get into his position? Yeah, and everybody knew about it. Yeah, except that nobody did anything about it because everybody liked the guy. Yeah, so I feel like that's kind of like his situation in a way, and as well as that he's also now then he's a federal informant. Yeah, he has protection from that too, which is another level of protection.
That's the thing. That's how the police do it. They keep you separate. Like if you do an incident with a group of people, they split you all up, and it's a game of telephone that they do deliberately. Yeah, you know, I remember when I got in trouble one time when I was like a kid, like this was like in middle school or whatever. I remember when the cops split us up, the first thing the cop said to me was like, it's like, you better start talking now because my buddy's telling me that your friend's already saying everything. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They're good. They're really good at it.
They'll do mind games like that and shit. I still didn't say anything.
They're really good at psychology.
Yeah. But again, he's out. We'll see what he does. No more Treyway shit. You can't say that anymore.
You can.
I wonder what kind of music he's going to be coming out with.
Make it can.
I mean, yeah, but it's not gonna hold as much weight.
I know, but unless he likes like making fun of them. Yeah, like how he made fun of people calling him a rat and made that rat face.
Right, and I think that's smart. I think he's gonna. If you notice all of his posts and everything, everything that he's been talking about is just him being a rat.
Yeah.
Which obviously is the elephant in the room. And I feel like right now what he's trying to do is like, yeah, he's gonna be the first one to say it. That way, it's not like gonna be like a one up on him. But I think he's gonna oversaturate it where the joke's not gonna be funny anymore.
He's definitely just gonna be making music about him being a rat for a minute.
Yeah,
and like beating the odds. He's gonna run on that for a while because I mean, until he formulates something else, which I'm pretty sure he has. Because
he's a creative dude.
Yeah, how much time did he spend in like a cell or whatever, like alone? Like this dude's creative. Like he's fucking creative. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna ride this out. And then he's going to come up with something else, something to jump off, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, or he might just get killed. Yeah. Like, to be honest.
And on top of that, for how many people saying they wouldn't snitch, like, honestly think about if you were in his position. Facing 49 years.
I know a lot of guys. I'm talking to all the homies.
Like, think about that.
I know about it. A lot of homies say they wouldn't snitch and they ride for their homies, but let's be real.
Like,
I know a lot of people that would, for real, like they're not. They would break under ice. Yeah, easily break under ice
just to save their own neck.
Yeah, you just have to think about like you're facing that much. Like that's the rest of your life practically. You know what I mean? Like that's a long fucking time,
dude. Yeah.
Like, and again, it's over people who try to kidnap your mother, kidnapped you, beat the fuck out of you, fucked your baby mama, and stole $1 million from you.
Yeah,
millions of dollars.
That's crazy. Yeah,
and try to kill you. On top of that, like you said, how much more does somebody have to do for you to just be like, oh, I'm not going to say anything?
Yeah.
Like Boondocks even made fun of it too, you know, and that's what I love about Boondocks. Boondocks would emphasize like the insecurities and the little blemishes of like the black community for not to make fun of the black community, but for the black community to understand like, hey, we're not perfect. There's certain things that we do that are redundant for our own community. You know, like they had like, you know, nigga moments, you know, there was like this one part in the series where a guy gets shot and the guy won't tell who shot him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know I'm just rambling, but I've been thinking about it a long time. I just want to see what he does. Treyway.
Ended on that note. Treyway.
No. And I was looking into a documentary, not a documentary, about this white. I don't know why he'd go out. So it's a white dude. He goes out to Philadelphia and he goes to a corner and a whole bunch of like hood people are there, right? And then he's asking him questions like saying, "Would you snitch if what's called your homie were to do something?" And they would say no. Like, why? And he didn't. He's like, because he's white. He would answer the questions, but he asked a question like, because somebody showed up to the corner and he showed him his like bullet wound.
Yeah.
And he was saying, hey, like, would you snitch on the guy that shot you? And he's like, no. I'm like, what? Like, kind of like, why won't you like snitch on?
Like, don't you want justice for the guy who literally tried to kill
you? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know, but then again, you don't know if it would like backfire on him. But then again, you can always like, if you're considered a snitch in that situation, it's kind of going back in the area where you can't move, and you'd be always considered a snitch.
Yeah.
But then also, I mean, snitching doesn't take a hold of value as it used to back in the day. So I mean, there's always a back and forth.
For me, if somebody does something to you, and like, for example, if you get shot, I mean, we've been in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like that whole situation could have got resolved. It did get resolved. Like the law got taken care of. I'm not going to go too much into it because we can't. But like, if it's a situation where somebody gets shot, I think if you're considered a snitch for defending your own life, then what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Like if I'm defending my life, why am I a snitch? What is wrong with me defending my life?
Yeah.
What justice is going to happen? Like, oh, me and the homies are going to go shoot that guy? What's that? What kind of justice is that? I'm going to end up going to jail if I do that. Like, that's just, to me, that's what I'm saying. That's what our communities, like, a lot of, like, low-income communities, like the Hispanic and Black communities, like, I feel like we kind of stop ourselves from progressing with that kind of mentality. It's
exactly.
Like, you don't have to be the macho. You don't have to take care. It's like, for a reason, like, there is, like, and I know, like, our communities hate cops. They hate the authorities.
Yeah.
But sometimes that kind of authority does have to step in place for justice to be served, even though justice is fuck sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put my line at risk and go shoot somebody that shot me because at the end of the day, I'm going to serve time in prison? No, fuck that.
No.
Let that motherfucker like rot in jail. Let him do the time. Let him fucking get the consequences for his actions.
Yeah. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be disagreeing with that.
Oh, so many people are going to be disagreeing. But here's the thing, like, all of them are in that mentality right now, and we've been in that mentality. But, like, the older you get, the more, and I'm not trying to say I'm the wisest person. No, I'm not. But if you think about it logistically, if you think it money-wise, and everybody that's in that life says, oh, I'm making money moves. All right, if you're making money moves, think about it logistically. Why the fuck would you give up your money moves to fucking take time for somebody that wouldn't probably do the same thing? Probably isn't going to visit you in jail, won't take care of your family.
And harmed you.
And will not give a fuck about you after 5 years in jail. Like, think about it logistically. If your homies really want you to progress, you're not going to be putting yourself in certain situations that are going to get you time for that.
Yeah, but it varies like on occasion, situation to situation. I mean, if you put yourself in that situation, I mean, it's kind of like
you do have that responsibility.
Yeah, you do have that responsibility. Yeah. So,
but again, it's like you said at the beginning. If you know you can't handle that, don't be a part of it.
Exactly. Don't
be a part of it. But like at the end of the day, like watch one day everybody's gonna get there and they're gonna realize it's just.
Well, I just want to like clear things up. Like, do I think you should snitch? No.
Yeah.
But there are certain situations. I know it's gonna sound like backwards or whatever. But like I could understand if I heard a situation where someone did snitch and I understood what the situation was, I wouldn't like vilify them for it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like in this situation with like Tekashi, I mean, I'm not gonna vilify him for it, but I definitely understand like where he's coming from in this particular situation. Yeah. I definitely
for me it's the same thing. Like don't snitch, but if it's doing harm to you or your family, I don't see it as snitching. Like if it's like that, if it's really gonna harm you and your family, I don't see it snitching. Yeah. Now, if it's like you and the homie get into something and you both agree on it, don't snitch.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't do that.
Exactly.
Don't do that.
That's just like it's throwing yourself under the bus.
That's really throwing yourself under the bus. If you really want to be a part of the life, you gotta deal with the consequences.
Yeah. If you're gonna make your bed, you gotta lay in it.
Yeah, you gotta lay in it. At the end of the day, don't snitch. But if it hurts you or your family, like in that kind of like bad way, I don't see it as snitching.
I mean, it's definitely snitching, but I think it's like a warranted one.
Yeah.
It's a warranted one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it just it depends on the situation, the circumstance that you're in. I mean, if you're just like casually with them and they did something unexpectedly, then yeah, that's a good reason to snitch. Because I mean, you directly weren't part of it.
Yep.
And you didn't know what was going on. But if you like came to an agreement where, oh yeah, we're gonna rob a store. Yeah, I mean, you that's your own damn fault.
Yeah. If we all came in agreement right now that we want to go trap and fucking rob a bank, we're all agreeing to it. We gotta fucking make our own bed. We gotta get prepared for the consequence. We gotta either get ready for the consequence.
There's no point in snitching, man. There's legitimately no point because we're all just like gonna go in a triangle. Like all these guys are.
Everybody goes downhill and shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's really about a wrap. I don't really think there's anything more we can go into it. So
last words on 6ix9ine.
I'm honestly happy that he's back.
Yeah.
Instagram was dead without him. It was pretty whack.
Yeah, Instagram, just the whole like YouTube and just like the fighting with other rappers. When he was back, when he was here, everything was so entertaining.
Yeah.
When he left, everything was like.
I'm gonna say this. I am ready for the fucking entertainment.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I'm so ready.
A lot of fucking fuckery.
I like seeing people progress. Like I personally really do like it, and I like seeing people overcome shit.
Yeah.
And he's definitely again like you can just admire it, you know, like he's overcame a lot of shit. And so I think personally, and especially someone who like loves and breathes everything hip hop and rap, like I don't think I've ever seen a single artist like have like a career path like this, like skyrocket to fame as fast and as hard as he did.
Oh yeah,
get locked up, snitch, come back, and be even more famous than he was. Like I've never seen that before, ever. Like everything with him is always like it gets more and more and more. Like I honestly think he'll be around for an extremely long time.
Yeah,
extremely
I believe
it. Yeah, so. And it's kind of embarrassing for Trippy because I remember Trippy blew up before he did. Yeah. And I remember like Trippy was like trying to cut him off because at the time Tekashi had like that pedophile like shit going on or whatever. And Trippy was like saying some petty ass shit like, "Oh, I'm more famous than you. I get more views than you." Blah,
but
blah,
Trippy,
blah.
like Trippy is the one that put him on kind of like put him on the map.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like Trippy was looking down on like Trippy wasn't even like
after that shit happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Gummo came out and it was just game over after that.
Yeah.
It was just game over after that. It's like it's just kind of like funny like. Like, I feel like in somewhat way or fashion, Trippy just kind of, like, had to bite his tongue because it's, like, I feel like after a few years, unless Trippy, like, does stuff, I feel like people will forget about Trippy. But I think for years and years and years to come, if not decades, people won't forget about Tekashi. They just won't. So, but that was an episode of Undecided. I am your host, Sonny.
I'm your host, Ray.
I'm your host, Ephraim.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
And hit that notification bell.
Hey, we got it, Ray. We got it.
And we're out.
Peace.